debt. And a lot of it. A number so high, it makes Valencia the America of Spain. If we ignore Barca's past. Wait, are they still in debt? Never mind, that's Barcelona. Okay, I'm learning that the big teams are in much more debt than us, but they actually make a lot of money. We're in the second tier. Back to the point. A month after their relegation, they accrued a 335 million euro debt. Although, now David Gonzalez says it's 388 million. He's the actual chairperson of the club, not Peter Lim. Following a brief misunderstanding, I learned that he only arrived as chairperson the day the bank loan began. How do we get out of this debt?
That kidney I just sold was 1.2 mil. My right eye was 300,000. Sold one of my nuts too.
Yeah, I ain't doing that, David. Firstly, throw out the dead weight, which will bring in revenue. I did that and more, with profits exceeding 80 mil for Remo Cortesi and David Otorbi. Plus, the director of football made smart decisions before I got here. Crystal Palace loaned Diego Lopez and used their 40 million option to buy. Plus, the Gooners have paid 80 mil for Javi Guerrera. He's currently out on loan. Secondly, earn promotion by any means, even if we fall further into debt. Eli Junior Chroo joined us on a free transfer, and on his debut versus Getafe, he banged in an absolute worldie. That reminds me of Blue Lock, a series I have my problems with. When a character did what Chroo did, albeit with extra steps, Jinpachi Ego said,
"That goal gave me nothing but discomfort. It had zero reproducibility."
In that case, we brought in Yaku Mushao to provide competition. In our second match, Bernarde slotted in his first goal. He is a midfielder who looks way too good for our level, yet has been a failure for his entire career. He cost 1.7 mil and was joined by another midfielder in Ngal Ayel Muku from relegated Montpellier. In our third match at Malaga, Jesus Vasquez scored a pen. However, not as a left back, as I wanted him to play central midfield. Maybe not the best idea, but after 3 games, we won them all with my new 4-3-3.
4-3-3!
The idea is the same for the front 3. Have the left winger start wide and cut inside, usually with Min-Soo Kim, who played a crucial part. On the right, Rafael Bellinho is an inside forward, which sees him contribute often. Midfield-wise, I have the advanced playmaker on the right with Bernarde, which has him make forward runs and create chances for the striker and right winger. My idea for the left wide center midfielder was to have him overlap when Kim cuts inside, but he does the opposite with underlapping runs. The guy in the middle is meant to drop as a defensive midfielder, but offensively, he starts higher up and is meant to be a water carrier with specific instructions. Muku was there originally, but his abilities were meant for more, so he moved wide. That allowed Hugo Guillamon, returning from loan, to fill that position. Instructions were initially to play at a standard tempo with short passes, but upping those by 1 is sometimes needed. Also, we discouraged them to shoot from distance, since without that, over half our shots are long. Even with that, they'll shoot outside the box plenty. Defensively, we like it risky. Our high line can be prone to counterattacks, especially with inexperienced defenders slotted in. Up first is Bernardo Lima, who failed to make his mark at Porto as a midfielder, so I told him, become a defender. Right back specifically. He's learning, and it showed against Leganes, where he got rinsed by Jorge Fernandes. He's a wingback, but Bolivar Campos on the left plays as an inside fullback. He's got potential, and I felt this was the best role for his development. That means we have the permanent return for El Shad, as he's set to play as an advanced center back, which provides another passing outlet to recycle the play. Finally, Hugo Regis is his defensive partner. I could use better individuals like Andres Cuenca or Joel Lago. However, similar to Campos, he's got potential, and I want him to realize it. So if you expect clean sheets, cover your eyes. Although, the goals we conceded weren't due to us being outplayed. Seriously, this is a ridiculous deflection. Nevertheless, 3 tight wins and a draw to begin the campaign was a tad concerning, but the following fixture to Castellón reassured that when this system works, it's pretty nice to watch. I think the Real Jaén encounter sums us up perfectly. Dominate possession, concede because we are not good at defending, have our penalty stopped, then find 3, unanswered, interrupted by their left back firing in a piss missile from 30 yards out. That's just the first half. Only for that left back to be sent off right after the interval. We took our sweet time to find a fourth. Even in comfortable games such as with Miranda's, where we were on our way for a smooth 2-0 victory, I got a little too loose with my substitutes, which saw us concede one late. Or what about Barca Beta, who got an inch to shoot, and of course, they score. Prior to the interval, Regis made a horrendous error, but luckily Ziani wasn't on point. Thankfully, a Balinho brace had us pull through with another victory as we were undefeated with 7 wins. Next up though is my return to Ourense. It is my return to the Okoto, this time as Valencia manager. Let's have a look how Ourense have done this season. The senior team have only won 1 match this season in the table while we are in first place. They are above the relegation zone by 2 points. Looking through their transfers, at first, I thought these guys were kinda crap. And maybe it's because my standards have shot up, but yeah, they're not great because they're listed as squad players. I did such a good job signing players for them that I guess they just needed depth. I signed this guy as a free agent. He was a cam with some of the best defensive attributes I've seen from a wonder kid at 16 years of age. So I bought him for pretty cheap. I'm like probably gonna make this joke a few times in this video. Yaya, how about you play defense? So it looks like they got Kramer, Berne, Koroma, and Funi. Alvarenga, he was a Paraguayan on my B team. Van Buysen's still there. Pires, don't care. Playing Czech Cisse? At least they're starting in Gom. Visiting the Okoto, quite empty compared to if they would have gotten promoted to La Liga, I'm sure. Twitch.tv/the Chroo. The last few games we've been challenged more than I expected. But we hit the post right away. They're keeping a lot of possession early on here, which is supposed to be my game plan. But here we go, Lima, Bernarbe, Rafael Belinho, 1-0 Valencia. But hopefully when I arrived here, the Ourense fans gave me a standing ovation, even though I'm not allowed on the touchlines. You may see me on the touchlines, but that's my assistant in a suit. I'm still studying for my Continental A. Rafael Belinho, J. Robinson. If I was at Ourense, he'd be called Juice Robinson. If you know the reference, you know the reference. Ooh, okay. See, this is like the problem we have with the team. Let's see what went wrong. Right wing, cam, striker, left wing. Left wing is very far wide. Realistically, someone should be tight marking him. El Chad has to cover this guy. And I guess Regis is not confident in saying, yo, El Chad, yell at Campos to cover this guy. You cover this guy, and I cover this guy. Yeah, no one pressing him. And he's able to make a pass. It's suddenly a 3-on-2. And realistically, Regis doesn't know who to cover, so he doesn't cover either player. Would applying opposition instructions have dealt with that? Probably. Of course, they score on their first shot of the game. I don't like what I saw from you guys. Come on. Okay, so we're going to go standard here. Higher tempo. But it's Ourense on the attack. Berne. To Jorge. That's not in the box, surely. Surely you're not that bad at tackling. No penalty. Maybe something will happen for us, though. Or it'll be... FM will do FM and end the highlight right here. But no, this looks pretty promising. Mukau. Oh, wow. Unlucky. First time I'm using a traditional wing back on the left side this season. So nice passes. Duro. Duro's a good player. I'm not using him because he's living at the end of this campaign, and it's better to use players that are going to be here next season or younger, and I can develop them. Good stuff, we win. Tighter than I expected, but deserved win at the end of the day. But will Ourense be able to stay out of the relegation zone? That is the question. For us, meanwhile, still undefeated, 25 points. Let's see how far we can take this. Have you ever seen a player on the ground, writhing in pain, and thought, what if the opposition scored? Well, we decided to show no sportsmanship to start October versus Racing Santander, but hit the post. Karma is a bitch, as later, Campos miskicks the ball, which saw us concede. We continued to miss chances, until Rafael Belinho received a brilliant throw-in to equalize. Now, defending a free kick, tell me, what the hell are we doing? For that stupidity alone, I should be more than happy with a draw against 4th place. I have a new challenge. How long will it take to earn a clean sheet? Cordoba would be a dominant performance. Yes, we wasted opportunities, but found ourselves with a 2-0 lead. we were seconds away from a shutout until we conceded a penalty in the 95th minute. Albacete is in bad form. Surely we can do it here. I felt so confident. I started the 16-year-old center back. It was a perfect performance, finding 4 in big part to Israel Puche, the former Espanyol striker. Unfortunately, Albacete found a consolation goal late. Tarragona continued to see us miss opportunities that a U8 can convert. Thankfully, we found a breakthrough half an hour in. All is well. Until the 62nd minute. Poland must have won the 2031 World Volleyball Championships, as a cross that should easily be caught by Grabara was backsetted across his 6-yard box. Thankfully, Regis had options to clear the ball anywhere. It won't let me pause the game. What is this? And they f***ing scored. Doesn't let me pause the game. Game goes on while I'm trying to make changes. And they score. What the? I still can't pause the game. I changed the match speed to 0.5, but it didn't let me change it back while a highlight was going on. I'll increase the speed by 1.5. Krupi scores. Golatsu. That's really annoying. Regis got dropped versus Deportivo La Coruña. Yet El Shad and Campos allowed the perfect amount of space for David Anqueya to head the ball in. The positive news is that there hasn't been a match this season where we haven't scored. Guys? Can we do something? Anything? We were useless. So much so that a guy who can't start for our B team was our best performer. Our undefeated campaign is over. To end the month, we face Casareño in the Copa del Rey, who are the worst team in the 4th tier, Group 5. Obviously, we went 6-0 up and would keep our first clean sheet in a... They scored in the 92nd minute. Moving into November, we faced Alaves. We actually kept a clean sheet. They were in La Liga last year. Whatever, nothing makes sense. Here are my notes for Sevilla B. Why did I let a 16-year-old take a pen? El Shad, why are you shooting from outside the box? How did I draw this game 0-0? We hit the woodwork 4 fucking times. Burgos looked to be almost as frustrating as Coruña offensively, until Marin Boadu made a rare appearance with a weak foot strike from distance. Oh, it got deflected. Next up is Cadiz, and with a win, we could go 9 points clear before their game in hand. So we're playing short and standard. It hasn't really been working as much against weaker teams who probably defend more. But against Cadiz, we got a chance. We're not a perfect team, but it's a good ball to Kim. From Kim, they're giving it, I think that's harsh to give that as an own goal. Surely Musha wasn't missing the net from there, right? Oh, highlight. Playing the invert fullback as well. But here we go. Bellinho to Mushao. There's his goal. Here we go. On the attack again, but Lima loses it. Not in an ideal position as Wróblewski Wróblewski gets into space, but we win it back. But then they get it right back from us, and what a save by Grabara. One mistake, and we're completely caught off guard. That's the problem with this system, I guess. Rafael. Oh, see, this is the problem. Counter-attack. Drop the line by 1. I don't know how well that's gonna work. This is where the channel forward works well, when you have a tall man with you. Okay, we're still in the lead though. Well, that's too easy. That would have been an insane goal. Not counter-attack. We're gonna hold shape when we win the ball. We're gonna waste a little bit of time. I guess we played the second half quite well, and we get a deserved victory at the end of the day. 7 points clear of Zaragoza, 9 points clear of Cadiz. Granted, they have a game in hand. Regardless, good stuff. And while there may be people out there questioning why I joined Valencia and left Ourense, Ourense right now, update, still very close to relegation. Hopefully nothing crazy happens for the rest of the first half of the season. It wouldn't be calm. Zaragoza had won their previous 6 fixtures, and it showed. While we did equalize straight away from Mushao, a goal and a penalty, scratched out via VAR, kept it even. I guess I'll take the result. The tough encounters continued with Cadiz again, but in the Copa del Rey. Israel Puche proved to be the difference maker there as we advanced. Almeria, who are one of the promotion favorites, followed. This fixture filled me with regret for not changing some roles late to avoid counters, because Hugo G, who has been good for us, loses it like a dumbass as they instantly equalize. Finally, the first half of the campaign ended against Espanyol B, who are surprisingly better than Barca Beta. Regardless, this proved to be the simplest match of the season as 3 second half goals gave us the victory. Now, let's look at the table. We are 5 points clear of Cadiz and 6 above third, which is no longer automatic promotion. A lot of the draws were frustrating. Still, we have built ourselves a solid base to have Valencia return to La Liga. But will we be able to do it? With our financial situation so bad despite transfer profits, we were going to host a friendly versus Borussia Dortmund, which would see us honor Remo Cortesi. But that got cancelled. Cancelled due to the Copa del Rey against Barcelona. Actually, not the Betas for once.